Let's talk about Oakley Vest by Love Notion and my tricks for sewing with pre-quilted fabric. Hi, my name is Agata. Welcome in Agata's Cottage. It's time for collaboration with Carole from Sew Carole. We all know Carole. She is fabulous sewist who prefers to sew with Big Four, and she has great success with those patterns. I'm only dabbling with Big Four. My majority of my collection are PDF patterns, and I absolutely love Notion's patterns. A few weeks ago, Carole mentioned that she has Oakley vest on her radar to make, and I had it printed, and I really wanted to make it, but as usually, I knew that I need a push of collaboration with someone to make it happen. I tend to sew more for my family and for others rather than for myself, although I did challenge myself to sew a bit more for me in 2024, and so far I'm quite successful. Now let's talk about Oakley vest. It's the pattern by Love Notions. It's few years old. It goes in their full size range from XXS to 5XL. It has full bust adjustment. It has 3 different views. Actually, I think you could say that it has 5 different combinations that you can try. So basically, there is view A, that it's fully lined for fabrics like faux fur, something fluffy that wouldn't do well with zipper. So that's the view A. View B is a straight vest with patch pockets, those patch pockets, and a collar. View C is princess seam with inseam pockets and a hood. So what I did, I switched a collar for the hood, and that we have 4th option, but you could also do inseam pockets with a collar, and that would be the 5th option. So there is a lot of use with this pattern, and you get your money worth. When Carole and I were talking about this collab and this vest, she said she doesn't like doing as much bias binding as it is on this pattern. I don't mind bias binding, and I actually challenged myself to bind every single seam inside. I will show you in a minute. I actually found it enjoyable sew. It was relatively quick, and I learned doing sewing this pattern few tricks about sewing with quilted fabrics. I will share them with you shortly. I had to take my vest off. It's quite warm here, not outside because it's relatively cool. It's autumn in Ireland, but I did put on the heating so my washing will dry up quicker, and I didn't realize that I would be walking around the house in cozy jumper and warm vest. So this fabric is pre-quilted fabric. It's a black kind of gunmetal on one side and black on the inside, and this is the inside, so you can see it's the lining. The outside is slightly shiny. I got it a few weeks ago in So Nice. She had meter and I think 30 centimeters or 40 centimeters left, so I took whatever there was, and I was very careful with my pattern Tetris, and I did manage to leave a little bit for another project. I also got the animal print bias binding at So Nice, and I absolutely love it. It was pleasure to work with. It's just a pure cotton. On the inside, I used black bias binding I had in my stash. I just didn't want to have any seams visible on the inside. So I did binding around the neckline and binding on the sides, and what I did, I basically folded the binding onto the one side, so onto back, and I top stitch it with the binding so it's not visible, doesn't flap around, and it lies flat. I also bind inside of the hood. That part was a little bit tricky because of the curve, and you know, at some point it got a little bit uh, challenging, but I managed. I loved sewing this pattern. Instructions were great. There were no missing steps nor anything. I absolutely loved doing it. The only tricky bit for me was this not straight corner on the pocket. I think in the future, because there will be definitely more of those vests, I'm thinking of doing straight hem and doing rounded edges on some of the part of the pocket, just to give it a different look. It's very warm. This fabric, even though it's very thin, is relatively warm. I basted the zipper first. So what you basically do is you put your jacket together, you bind all your seams inside if you want to, you attach your pockets, uh, instructions will tell you, and then you sew one continuous binding all the way, and then you attach the zipper, which was a little bit different way of doing things for me, but I absolutely love this idea. And I top stitched the zipper twice just to make sure it's secure, and yeah, voila, it's done. Now, my tips for sewing with pre-quilted fabric. First, if the fabric is slinky, it's not something that, you know, it's like cotton or jersey or anything like it. If it's polyester like that, do not use the pins. They will leave the holes and you will have gigantic problems. Even the clips, like the Wonder clips, were leaving marks. So what I did, I reached out for old-fashioned pegs, you know, laundry pegs, to hold my fabric, and they worked wonder. To hold pocket in place, I used washi tape. So I put a lot of tape around, and it helped to keep the pocket in place. It didn't shift. I was removing the washi tape before I got to sew through with it, so I didn't want to sew through the washi tape. I basically removed it just a little bit before, just to make sure that the pocket stays in place. I used tailor's chalk for marking on this fabric. Do not use any marking tools that need to be removed with heat, because ironing in this doesn't go well. I also used a microtex needle size 80 because I knew I would be going through relatively bulky seams where I have binding and two sides of the seam, so I didn't want to have a problem with getting stuck or anything like it. So needle size 80 worked perfectly. Now, the most important tip in my opinion, when you have your pattern pieces cut out, run basting stitch, like space, like length 3.5 will do, on just the edge of the fabric. I would say 1/8 of an inch or even closer. So wherever you have moments like here that your quilting is here and then you have almost whole part without anything holding it, to avoid the bottom layer of this bottom layer of flipping when you are sewing, just stitch around all your pattern pieces. It will help to keep the quilting in place. It will help to stop the inside, like the wadding from the inside, to go through, and it really helped me. So I didn't do it on the first bit and I regretted it because basically my bottom part flipped, so I had a bit of unpicking. Luckily I was using very narrow seam allowance then, so I did manage to make slightly bigger seam allowance, so my error is not visible anymore. But yeah, that helps if you stitch around very carefully, making sure that nothing goes underneath, there is no flipped sides. This will save you a lot of trouble while actually constructing your garment. One thing that I forgot to mention, I added little label. Here is just glasses label from the Specky Seamstress subscription box, and I just thought it's very cute addition to this make. Now, my overall impression, I absolutely love this jacket. It's perfect for the weather we are having here in Ireland, and it looks super cute with jeans and warm cozy jumper. I cannot wait to wear it more. By the way, if you are looking for different ideas to make a Oakley vest, I can highly recommend two videos. One was recorded by Karina from Lifting Pins and Needles. She made her vest in linen and in rayon twill. And also Natida from So Natural Dame shows different ways of embellishing your jacket. So she did beaded virgin in shiny fabric and then denim patchwork. I cannot wait to watch Carole's video and see how her jacket looks like. She did share some sneak peek information with me, but I haven't seen it yet. Hope you will join me and watch her video as well. If I keep saying jacket, I'm so sorry. It's just jacket is stuck on my mind today all day long. So what do you think about my vest? I absolutely love it. Thank you for watching, thank you for subscribing, and don't forget, clean your sewing machine and change your needle. And by the way, if you are sewing with the fabric that's pre-quilted and has wadding inside, your machine for sure needs proper cleaning inside. The wadding goes everywhere. Happy sewing! Bye!